Yep. How did they not sort it? Their families have to deal with this in real time. And how is everybody scrambling to sort as a daily show? What say you, JP?
I don't know what playbook.
Found out this man has been cheating on me, found him pants down with another woman, and I'm living my truth. There has been a price to pay, but I'm excited about the future. And I love trying new.
All right, buckle up, because this one is messy, layered, and honestly kind of heartbreaking in a way nobody expected. Imagine risking everything for a relationship. Your career, your reputation, your family, your public image. You blow up your whole life for love, only to wake up one day and realize that the person you burned it all down for never planned to stay. That's the nightmare Amy Robach is allegedly living in right now. Because according to whispers, leaks, and the way the pieces are falling into place, TJ Holmes didn't just fall out of love. He smashed, got what he wanted, and then emotionally checked out. And the wildest part? Amy's ex-husband isn't even trying to be subtle about laughing at the fallout. See, from the outside, Amy and TJ were sold to us as this forbidden romance, this intense connection that just happened. Two coworkers who couldn't fight their feelings. Two people who claimed they found their soulmate at the wrong time. But what nobody wanted to admit back then is that some relationships aren't built on love. They're built on adrenaline. Sneaking around, the thrill of doing something you're not supposed to do. And once that thrill fades, so does the bond. And now, all signs are pointing to the truth that Amy was never the end game. She was the detour. Because lately, TJ has been talking. Not directly naming names, but saying enough for people to read between the lines. And what he's revealing about why things ended is making Amy look less like a heartbroken partner and more like someone who got played by the same man she helped play someone else. Let's rewind, because to understand how brutal this ending is, you have to understand where Amy came from emotionally before TJ ever entered the picture.
TJ Holmes and Amy Robach are engaged, but the story behind this engagement announcement, I have to tell you about because it's hilarious. And it's not hilarious because these two cheated with each other and now their exes are now dating each other too. That's not the funny part of the story. The funny part of the story is the fact that they are telling people on their podcast that she's been engaged for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And they've gone to football stadiums and she's been wearing her engagement ring and no one noticed, no one talked about it. So they had to come on their podcast because nobody would give them a show, an actual daytime talk show that they were fishing around for after their affair. They decided that they had to make this big announcement on their podcast because nobody was even interested. So according to People magazine, Holmes then joked how his fiance had been, quote, dangling a ring in everybody's face every chance you could, and nobody said a word. She says, I was in 3 massive football stadiums 3 weekends in a row, wearing my engagement ring very proudly, very excitedly, and kept waiting for somebody to point it out or ask me, hey, what's that? And it never happened. And if people saw it, maybe they were just being polite, she added. No, girl, they saw it and they didn't care. Oh, but the desperation doesn't stop there. Holmes then chimed in, we were intimately engaged with friends, very close people for the past 3 weekends. All of them are gonna think back and go, oh my God, how did we miss it? So they were hanging out with their own friends and they didn't notice the engagement ring. Their friends did not care either. People magazine says the couple promised to share some details about how it all went down at a later date on their podcast. No one cares, y'all. They are so, I think they thought after their affair and them being on GMA3, not the main show, GMA3, I think they thought after the publicity and everyone talking about this affair that they had, that this was going to turn into a big opportunity for them to be big, well-known and have their own daytime talk show. They ended up having to create this podcast because no one really was interested. And apparently people still are not.
Amy Robach wasn't some reckless, lonely woman desperate for attention. She had a life, a family, a husband, Andrew Shue, who wasn't just some guy, but a man who stood by her during one of the hardest moments of her life. When Amy was diagnosed with breast cancer, Andrew was right there. Chemo appointments, emotional breakdowns, the fear, the uncertainty, the reality of possibly not surviving. He was present. That kind of shared trauma bonds people deeply. Or at least, it's supposed to. For years, Amy presented her marriage as solid. Not perfect, but real. Two people who grew together, raised kids together, and survived storms together. She was America's relatable morning show sweetheart, the woman who talked openly about health, fear, and resilience. People trusted her.
TJ Holmes just can't seem to stay out of trouble. More news has surfaced about the news anchor's secret life at the workplace. An inside source claims that TJ had an affair for several months with a woman named Jasmine Petaway in 2015 when she was a 24-year-old intern. And of course, your boy TJ was married at the time. The source, who apparently knows Jasmine personally, claims that TJ took full advantage of her vulnerability. Apparently, this was Jasmine's first job in television and she was looking for a trusted mentor. And of course, your boy TJ was readily available. The insider also claims that TJ exercised his authority over Jasmine and eventually their relationship became physically intimate in his office. So what do y'all think of all this mess? Let us know.
And then TJ Holmes entered her orbit. TJ wasn't just a co-worker. He was charismatic, confident, smooth, the kind of man who knows exactly what to say and when to say it. He had that energy that makes you feel seen, chosen, special, especially when you're at a stage in life where routine starts to feel suffocating and validation feels rare. What started as work chemistry allegedly turned into something else: lingering looks, inside jokes, emotional intimacy that crossed lines long before anything physical happened. And once that line was crossed, there was no going back. They didn't just cheat quietly, they detonated their lives. 2 marriages gone, kids caught in the middle, careers instantly stained. And yet, they stood there smiling, holding hands, practically daring the world to judge them. They tried to sell it as fate, as love that was worth the cost. But here's the twist nobody expected. Once the scandal cooled down, TJ cooled off too. According to insiders, the passion that burned so hot during the affair didn't survive real life. When there were no more secret hotel rooms, no more adrenaline rush of sneaking around the office, no more us against the world energy, reality set in. And reality wasn't cute. Reports say TJ started emotionally pulling away. Less affection, less effort, less patience. Conversations turned into arguments. Arguments turned into silence, and Amy, who had already given up everything, allegedly found herself trying to hold together something that was already slipping through her fingers. That's when TJ allegedly started telling people his side. He hinted that the relationship was intense, yes, but also rushed. That it was built during chaos, not clarity. That once the dust settled, he realized he didn't actually want the life they were building. In other words, he enjoyed the connection, the physical chemistry, the escape, but not the responsibility. And that's where the phrase smashed and dumped starts circulating. Because to many watching this unfold, it looks like TJ got the excitement he wanted. And once Amy became a reminder of the scandal, the pressure, and the consequences, he was done. No grand betrayal moment, just emotional withdrawal, the slow fade, the quiet exit. And Amy? She allegedly didn't see it coming. She thought surviving the scandal together meant they were solid. She thought choosing each other publicly meant commitment. She thought that if a man blew up his marriage for you, that meant you were special. But what nobody tells you is this. If a man is willing to betray his family for excitement, he's willing to walk away from you when the excitement ends. And while Amy was allegedly spiraling, trying to understand how she lost everything for a man who wouldn't even fight for her, there was someone else watching from the sidelines with a front row seat. Her ex-husband. Andrew Shue has been real quiet but not silent, because while Amy's public image was unraveling, Andrew was rebuilding. New relationship, new business moves, a calmer, more private life. And according to people close to him, he's not exactly heartbroken anymore. In fact, the word being used is amused. Not because he wanted Amy to suffer, but because the very man she risked everything for ended up proving every fear Andrew probably had. The disrespect, the instability, the temporary nature of it all. Sources say Andrew has made jokes in private about how predictable this outcome was, how the same way TJ entered Amy's life is the same way he exited it. No loyalty, no staying power, just vibes and excuses. And honestly, the internet agrees with him. Public sympathy for Amy has been almost non-existent. The narrative online is brutal. People are saying she ignored every red flag, that she confused lust with love, that she thought she was the exception to a man's pattern instead of the next chapter in it. But here's where it gets complicated. Because while accountability matters, so does humanity. Amy didn't just lose a relationship. She lost her career, her credibility, her sense of safety. She lost the version of herself that people trusted. And now she's left with the reality that the man she defended, the man she stood beside when the world turned on them, didn't even value her enough to stay. That kind of realization hits deep. It's not just heartbreak, it's humiliation layered on regret. It's waking up every day knowing you burned bridges that can never be rebuilt for a love that didn't last. It's knowing your kids will one day read headlines and connect dots you wish they never had to see. And TJ? He's moved on emotionally, if not publicly, talking about growth, about lessons, about how things just didn't work, as if this was a normal breakup and not the aftermath of a scandal that changed multiple lives. That's what makes people angry, because when the dust settled, TJ walked away lighter, less attached, less affected, and Amy was left holding the weight of it all. Her ex-husband thriving, her former partner detached, the public unforgiving, and her future uncertain. So what's the real lesson here? It's not just don't cheat or karma always comes back, even though that part is loud and clear. The deeper truth is this. Relationships built in secrecy rarely survive in daylight. When a connection is fueled by rebellion instead of respect, it burns fast and dies ugly. Amy thought she was choosing love. TJ was choosing convenience. And when love requires sacrifice and convenience requires nothing, guess which one usually walks away first? This wasn't a fairy tale gone wrong. It was a cautionary story from the very beginning, a reminder that being chosen in chaos doesn't mean you'll be chosen in peace. And while TJ may have smashed, distanced himself, and moved on emotionally, Amy is left with the echoes of choices she can't undo. Meanwhile, the man she left behind is standing on the outside, watching it all unfold, knowing one quiet truth. Sometimes the loudest revenge is simply living better after being betrayed. And that might be the most painful part of all.